Sorry about that. Of course, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Victorious Ones podcast, a place where gaming meets comics, meets sports, meets movies, as well as inspiration. Of course, I'm your host, King Von Jr. You can follow me on social media on Twitter at 301 King Von Jr., on Instagram at Mr. King Von Jr. I'm also the social media producer for the unpopular review wrestling show Perfect Flex Talk Radio. And so of course, I hope everyone last week enjoyed the holiday, enjoyed the 4th of July. I know I certainly did. You know, um, got a chance to see some great fireworks. And by the way, for those that are, for those that are watching by way of YouTube, go to YouTube. That want to watch live on YouTube, youtube.com/@VonResper Jr. Please make sure to like and subscribe and to stay up to date on more of the upcoming content. And so I know that this is definitely going to be a pretty big episode with a lot to cover, especially with this now being found out this is my 150th episode so far. That's amazing, you know what I mean? And just to maintain this consistency is especially carrying the show, from a solo standpoint, no pun intended, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I say, for those that are watching by way of Facebook, by way of Twitter, YouTube/X, whatever you want to call it. Definitely a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, as well as Money in the Bank, Heatwave, Monday Night Raw, NXT. Like I said, just a lot of major headlines going on right now. I mean, so yeah. Yeah, like I said, those that are watching, thank you very much, for subscribing. And, like I said, in regards to, of course, without further ado, I love going to my review, or at least the rundown of Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, that's how I started the week with wrestling. And, of course, for those that are watching and see, this really cool shirt, John Cena, of course, announced his retirement on Saturday, Money in the Bank in Toronto. So I'll be right back. Thank you. But yeah, anyway, of course, like I said, thank you very much for those that are watching. And of course, Friday Night SmackDown took place, of course, on July 5th, which also happened to be my dad's birthday. As he turned 71. But of course, SmackDown kicked off clips of Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes going to the arena. So of course, live in the arena, you hear Jey Uso's music hit. And out he comes with a huge pop from the crowd. Of course, this is main event Jey Uso that everybody absolutely loves. And it's ridiculously hot up here. You have the AC on still. So weather is not for the faint of heart. But of course, Jey Uso starts saying, "Main event Jey Uso is now your city." Of course, he appreciates the Canada. Let him in. For those that know about the Usos, history, if you will. And of course, he has to crowd if they want to win the Money in the Bank. And of course, they say yeet. LA Knight's music hits, and he comes up to the ring. Everybody chants LA Knight, and then, of course, tells him, let me talk to you. Says he likes how Jay asked him if they want to see him winning Money in the Bank. LA Knight then says something that tells him that Jay might be the odds-on favorite, considering that a year ago he himself was the odds-on favorite. Says he always respected the world for Jay because he was a part of the Goofy family, acknowledges him, referring to the bloodline. And so of course says that he's going to show respect for Jay tomorrow, and of course, he says he'll show Jay respect tomorrow by showing him none at all. He says as much as Jay's used to hearing Yeet, you hear all Toronto say yeah, so yeah versus Yeet in this segment. And so, so of course after that, we see Carmelo Hayes come out, and he says he hates to be that guy, but he is that guy. It's like I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so type of thing. And it says Toronto doesn't want to hear you. Yeah, he tells LA Knight. Last time we saw him, LA Knight's head was far Logan's prime location, if you will. They could tell him what the new prime flavor was. I was like, yeah, I was cutting pretty close from LOSA. And of course, we were Chad's giving music. So this is when all the participants, all the competitors come out and she'll put themselves over. Then Drew McIntyre comes out, and then you hear a loud CM Punk chant from the crowd. He's expected. Of course, Drew says that he expected better out of Canada, being part of the Commonwealth. So as a Punk is not there, but his family's always with him. He shows CM Punk's bracelet, the bracelet, with AJ's name and that dog. And so Bruce tells Chad that he feels bad for him. Tells Carmelo his bright future, but he is not him. Nice little play on words, little reference, if you will. And he says he's looking up at him. Tells LA Knight that it's not the word, but he will need tomorrow. It will be no. So by tomorrow it's going to be no. So but yeah, and of course he looks at Jay and he asks him how he got across the corner. Ooh, wow, that was a burn. But yeah, of course Andrade attacks Drew from behind, and they're all fighting the ring. Ends with Jay and LA Knight landing a clothesline on Drew at the top rope into the outside of the ring. Of course, we see Jackie Redmond backstage with Bayley, and she has Bayley who takes one Money in the Bank ladder match. In the title, Bayley says that you have to stay sharp and focused. And then here comes Chelsea Green. And she tells Bayley their advice is almost as irrelevant as she's. Wow. Okay, that's how you feel. And Chelsea says that she was Miss Money in the Bank and she'll go after Bayley. Piper Niven attacks Bayley from behind, and Chelsea tells her that next time Piper attacks her, she'll come with the contract and be the new WWE Women's Champion. So this is all leading to some Money in the Bank. Of course, by the way, this is a recap of the Go Home show. See what the numbers look like. All right, not too bad. But yeah, of course, then we have, of course, some of that. So of course, we see Bayley walking out of Nick Aldis' office, and then Naomi comes in. And she tells Naomi that she just spoke to Nick Aldis, and she has a match against Piper Niven tonight. And of course, we have the Street Profits with B-Fab versus Pretty Deadly. The winners of that match are Street Profits. Then we have Candice LeRae and Lee Hartwell versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Winners, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, as I like to call them, Team Renaissance. Of course, we also have Bayley with Naomi versus Piper Niven with Chelsea Green. And of course, the winner of that match is Bayley. Then we have the Tag Team Championship match, A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller versus DIY. And the winners of the new WWE Tag Team Champions on SmackDown, DIY. And, I think this is definitely going to be one of the triggers for the dissension between, between A-Town Down Under. And I just see it's only a matter of time before, more than likely, Austin Theory could end up being to eventually turn face between him and Grayson Waller. So of course that was my review of Friday Night SmackDown. And so now it's time to go into Money in the Bank 2024. So now here are the results. And of course, Money in the Bank 2024 took place at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Canada. And of course, shout out to Stephanie Hardy of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast for being a part of Money in the Bank, and just being part of the press team, the media team, and for her to interview Carmelo Hayes. I know that was definitely a huge dream come true for her, and I definitely finally get her as a guest on this podcast. That'd be a great interview, great conversation in and of itself. And of course, a shout out to Janelle from Job Teachers Podcast for also being at Money in the Bank as well. And of course, here's the lineup of Saturday's show. We have the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. And of course, we also have Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. And of course, we have men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Jey Uso versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade versus Chad Gable versus LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. And of course, we also have the women's Money in the Bank match with Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Zoe Stark. So of course, we start with the men's Money in the Bank match, Money in the Bank ladder match. And of course, the winner of that was Drew McIntyre. And of course, also I just want to say the pre-show ended with Samantha Irvin and Ryland James singing American and Canadian national anthems back to back, which is typically what happens, especially whenever this type of like a big one in Canada, whether it's the All-Star game or any other type of Canadian event they have. The American national anthem as well as the Canadian national anthem follow back to back. But yeah, of course, it's a great way to kick off the show. Wrap the Canada Day and the 4th of July. So of course, Canada Day. To get my words together, Canada Day is on July 1st. Of course, America's former Independence Day. Of course, the 4th of July, which is going to be 2 weeks after Juneteenth, which is crazy to believe, right? And of course, my poll was excited for Boots of Interest to come forth. And of course, everybody else's entrance, pretty much fell flat after the crowd went nuts for Jey. So if anything, I think that Jey should come out last. And of course, the thing is, the match itself was pretty solid. Some of the highlights were Andrade's reverse Spanish fly on Carmelo Hayes. And of course, both of them had great execution. And the sunset flip from Andrade to Hayes on the ladder was awesome as well. So I think those are some of the standouts. And if anything, if there's anybody who I believe should have really been the winner of the briefcase, it would have been Jey Uso, especially because of the momentum he's had. I know he's definitely putting in the time, putting in the work to make a name for himself outside of his family, outside the bloodline, outside that storyline. And if anything, he's been the bigger breakout star compared to him and his brother. And he certainly has far more storylines invested in him than Jimmy's had, even though Jimmy's injured right now. But still, like I said, while they were together, clearly Jey by far had the upper hand. And so I think it would have been great, especially considering his nickname is Main Event Jey Uso, and he also main evented SummerSlam last year against Roman. And so why not continue that and have him win a briefcase? At least even though he had a cup of coffee as a tag team champion with Cody. But the thing is, when it comes to accolades, Jey doesn't have much of a track record, but really any sort of like a track record as a single superstar when it comes to accolades, when it comes to championships, because he's most synonymous with tag team titles, and so I think that Jey winning that briefcase would have been a great kickstart for him, as far as making a name for himself outside of outside of that bloodline story, outside of that saga, outside of everything with Roman, especially since Roman's out the picture right now. So if anything, that would have been a perfect way for Jey to seize that window of opportunity. But of course, Drew McIntyre, aka Braveheart, ends up winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. And so I was like, okay, as far as that, of course, like I said, Drew McIntyre won the men's Money in the Bank, and then we have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker, which I felt was a great match. Braun definitely has signs of great things to come. Like just for him being a natural athlete, it's in his DNA. Look what family he comes from. Look what his dad is, and look what his uncle is. So he's, he comes from great genetics. And of course, he, like I say, as far as that, and when it comes to his athleticism from a football player, the amateur wrestling, skill set and whatnot, and just his ferociousness, just his, like I said, just his intensity. And so the thing about it is that Sami Zayn outsmarted him. Sami Zayn used his experience, to overcome Braun's momentum, Braun's, youth, and just all type of energy that he has right now at this point. And so but other than that, like I said, it was a great match. Um, so of course, Sami Zayn is still your champion, but eventually, I think that the tide's going to end up turning, and it's something. Of course, eventually, Braun, I believe that's going to be his first step towards that main roster superstar. It's become the Intercontinental champion, and if there's anybody, I guess it's too soon, but out of anybody on the main roster, if there's anybody I can see, coming close to, if not breaking Gunther's record as Intercontinental champion, I can see Braun Breaker being that type of guy. It's just something, just one extra thing that's kind of missing right now. But as long as he taps into it, there's nothing that can stop him. So the winner right now, and still Intercontinental champion, of course, is Sami Zayn. And so the thing about it is that, of course, bronze singlets obviously are a tribute, a tribute to the Steiner brothers, especially all those checkers and stuff. That was just like something I've seen in Scotland. Of course, the thing about it is that Sami Zayn is such a great pro, such a great veteran that even though that first moonsault to the floor, and did pretty badly, at least he managed to save himself. As far as that, but I mean, let's just say moonsaults are not exactly semi-specialty because the second moonsault, he trapped in the barricade later in the match. Braun Breaker had to save him, because if it went wrong, Sami would have landed on his head, and that definitely was some nasty work right there. I did like Braun's Frankensteiner. Certainly, it's certainly a tribute to his uncle Scott Steiner. And of course, especially when he pops up the top rope, with little to no effort anyway. But like I said, at the end of the day, the underdog from the underground, they call Sami Zayn to get the luva kick, and of course, pin Braun to retain the IC title. Like I said, retain the IC title, and like I said, made both of them look great anyway. And then after that, somewhere in the middle, of the show, John Cena drops the bombshell, the ultimate bombshell. No kayfabe or anything. He just let everybody know that he will be retiring in 2025, and he will be going on a retirement tour. That WrestleMania in Vegas will be his final WrestleMania, and at the same time, that's not going to be his official final event. He's going to be going on a tour, all throughout the year. I don't know exactly when the tour is going to end, but all I have to say is that WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas is the perfect way for John Cena to go out. As far as who I want to see as his final opponent, it'd be great for him to face someone who's up and coming, but at the same time, someone of Cena's stature, of his caliber, and just of his pedigree of greatness, his body of work. I would think that the best way for Cena to go out would be for him to finally have a one-on-one WrestleMania match against his greatest rival, Randy Orton. Him and Orton are like yin and yang, neck and neck. They are eternal dance partners, right? And the only time they've ever had a WrestleMania match together was a triple threat match at WrestleMania 24, where Triple H was involved. But I think it's only fitting, it's only right for them to conclude their story once and for all, especially Cena's story, by having a one-on-one match in, of all places, Las Vegas. I mean, that sells itself. So that's it. I'm definitely on board for that. And it's just so much to take in, and just like, but yeah, like I say, it's just, I don't know, like I say, it's just so much to take in, right now, and just to see, just because it's really just because of what Cena has done and what he, like I said, what he means to business. Let me see something. It's only fitting. So since we're talking about that, I think it was only fitting for me to even add the banner to it, because everybody know what I was talking about right now. But yeah, like I said, John Cena retires. Um, it's just like he has been the brand ambassador. Carried the company to the highest heights, to like I said, to the deepest depths that he possibly could, especially in the aftermath of the Attitude Era, when two of the biggest icons that wrestling's ever had both, walk away. In the Rock's case, it was Hollywood. The Stone Cold's case, because injuries, just how his body was breaking down. And so they needed someone to fill that void. And so, of course, OVW, like I said, OVW was the Ohio Valley Wrestling, by the way. That was the original NXT, and so, of course, they produced the likes of John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Batista, and I would put that classic against anybody. That's another story, another day. But out of all of them, John Cena was the one who was able to shine the brightest. You look at, so not only his physique, but also his charisma, his character, mic skills, and just his ability to draw and his ability to reach, larger audience. Someone who is a brand ambassador. Out of all four of those guys, Cena is the guy that would be first to be the ambassador for the company. And WWE, of course, they obviously in the long run they made the right choice. Of course, like I said, Rock and Austin were gone. They would, of course, Brock Lesnar left early, and at the same time, it's never really been a guy that's really loved people. Like he's never really a people person anyway. So, so you obviously disqualified from that. You could put Batista was just like, and certain, especially when it comes to kid audience, not so much. I think it's just something about that. Like, not quite, but he's definitely in a conversation. If it wasn't for, of course, if it wasn't for Randy Orton, and some of the his early slip ups and things like that, then he could have been a contender. But at the end of the day, with all those factors, it's got to go to John Cena. And so Cena has carried that torch. He's been in multiple WrestleManias. He's been in 5 WrestleMania events. And so like I said, it's just like Cena's just remarkable. For him to do what he did, facing the adversity that he faced, like I say, in the aftermath of of Austin Rock, stepping away, and for him to fill those shoes, and not only fill those shoes but create his own lane. Honestly, it's something that needs to be admired. It needs to be respected. It needs to be celebrated, and for that, I'm definitely celebrating. And of course, I'm upset that this, because I didn't take up so much time as far as Cena, but I'm definitely going to get back to the rest of the card. And of course, I'm going to go into, of course, later on, I'm going to talk about, where I think Cena ranks all time, and if he's someone who is Mount Rushmore worthy. He definitely has a great case when it comes to WWE Mount Rushmore especially. But but of course, moving on with the rest of the card, of course we have Damian Priest for Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, and so of course Seth Rollins had the entire arena singing along to his entrance music, and he had them in the palm of his hands, and of course his Rollins return match since coming back from injury, and of course he laid out the ultimatum that if Damian were to lose the title, he had to leave Judgment Day. But if Seth lost the match, he would never, contend for the title as long as Damian is the champion. Of course, as soon as the bell rang, they wasted no time, trading strikes, and trying to go for a quick win. And of course, Priest avoided pedigree and still got the first 2 count suplex. And of course, they kept their eyes on the stage, expecting Drew McIntyre to come out and to come out and cash his briefcase. And the thing about it is just something about this match that was missing a certain element. I don't know what it was. Probably because there wasn't deep enough build up to it. But like I said, it just kept it from reaching what it could really be. I don't know if it's just because Seth just came back and there wasn't enough build up, enough momentum and whatnot. Even though he lost the belt to Drew, and then Damian cashed in on Drew at the end of the day at WrestleMania. But whatever it was, it's just like it's kind of like whatever. But of course, after the Seth Rollins and Falcon era, of course, Damian kicked out for 2, and so of course the crowd just booed. And Toronto is definitely a wrestling crowd, and like when they feel some type of way, they would let you know. And of course, they continue to boo until Drew McIntyre showed up and handed his briefcase to the referee to cash in and join the match. So that's when he announced, and the bell rang. And of course, sorry about that. Of course, like I said, they made the announcement, the bell rang, and then now at this point, it became a triple threat match. And so, of course, nobody was disqualified when CM Punk showed up and attacked McIntyre with a steel chair, and then of course, after he attacked Drew and just destroyed him with a chair. Then he grabbed the world title, to knock him out with it. And so of course, after that, Punk sat on the announce table and watched as Damian Priest hit his razor's edge south of heaven on Drew, on McIntyre. Of course, hit Slim. So of course, as Drew was knocked out, then of course Damian Priest, his south of heaven, of course to win. He nailed Drew McIntyre with south of heaven for the win, 1, 2, 3, and so of course because of that you're winning still the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, and so shenanigans, of course, added more to the drama of the situation, and it definitely made the match even more exciting. Even though CM Punk, like I said, CM Punk was blinded so much by rage that not only did he cost Drew the title, but he also cost Seth the opportunity that he was looking forward to the most. So both Drew and Seth hate Punk, and so of course Damian Priest retained by pinning Drew in the end anyway, and so of course now the feud between Punk and Drew is going to include Rollins as well, and so of course it's obvious after the match, Seth expressed his anger towards CM Punk, and just Punk making it more so about himself. And of course, like I said, Priest defeated Rollins and McIntyre to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And now we have the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and of course, shout out to Trish Stratus for being the ambassador for Toronto that night. For money in the Bank. And so of course, in and of itself, I will say that the women's Money in the Bank match far outshined the men's Money in the Bank match, and especially with that spot between Io Sky and Zoe Stark, with the way that Io just hit the meanest power driver on the ladder on Zoe. I was like, man, I'm surprised that Zoe's even still alive and still walking up or something like that. And of course, make sure that to get her time to shine. And shout out to her for that Money in the Bank outfit, all green, along with the green hair. I thought that was pretty cool. And as far as that, and also Zoe Stark wore some face paint that Arnold Schwarzenegger had in the movie Commando. If you look at the three stripes, that the war paint was the same type of paint that the Schwarzenegger had in that movie. It's like, oh, okay. I was like, you know what? I see what you're doing with that. Of course, we had Scott and Lara Valkyria and Brie Nash is about the ladder in the corner, but they seem to be fine and continue like nothing happened. And of course, so we started hitting the back of her head on the ladder. And senton, they kept going like nothing happened. And of course, we'll see Lara Valkyrie's German suplex from the ladder. The ladder was great, and Scott definitely sold a great run and made it look even better. I mean, so they're definitely hitting some of the highest spots right now. And of course, we had Naomi DDT to Tiffany Stratton. It was definitely one of the better moments of the match, but at the end of the day, Tiffany herself ends up winning the Women's Money in the Bank. So now she is she's the Women's Money in the Bank winner. And of course, after the match, she was talking trash to Trish Stratus, while Kathy Kelly, Kathy Kelly was interviewing Trish, and of course, Tiffany's trying to be arrogant, entitled, like I said, entitled up a comer that she is, disrespecting, Hall of Famer and one of the all-time GOATs for women in her hometown of Toronto. So that's typical ill fashion anyway. And of course, we have the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. The winners of this match, the Bloodline. So that is my review of Money in the Bank. And then, of course, I'm sorry, let me slow down once again. Of course, the next night we see NXT Heatwave, which also took place in Toronto as well. Here we go. And I must say that NXT knows how to raise the bar after seeing what they see on the main roster. Shawn Michaels makes sure of that. And when they say let Shawn cook, they're letting him cook. Not only is he cooking, but he's barbecuing. And it's evident about what we see NXT on a nightly basis, whether Tuesdays or even on Sundays. And this was no different. So, of course, this night was, this night featured Ethan Page taking on his first potential challenge, first potential challenge. Actually, no, not yet. So, like that. I kind of got ahead of myself anyway, but of course, I'm going to NXT Heatwave 2024 results. So of course, count down with Jesse Jane and Jasmine Nix versus Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace, and the winners by pinfall, Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace. And so the opening match, the official opening match for NXT Heatwave, is the North American Championship match with the guy who calls himself Nigerian Thanos on Twitter, Obafemi, aka Mbaku Femi, is a world beater. Obafemi versus Wesley, and this match was great, especially when you have somebody smaller or someone who's a giant like Oba, and they definitely go on the best side of each other. Oba's definitely the typical dominating world beater. I say that a lot, typical super dominant fashion, and he's absolutely impressive anyway. And like I said, Wesley was not slouch himself either. And like I said, it was a very strong match. And like I said, it definitely made a great job. Make Obafemi look strong. And of course, the thing is that the action definitely delivered. And of course, even though it wasn't the cleanest, battle like further down the line, but also it just added to just desperation that Wesley was showing. Of course, the thing is, they're they empty their reverses empty their reverses, to try and win, and just with the way that the way that the Wesley, he reverses one of Opus power bombs. I was like, man, so that's definitely impressive. And so far, it clears the biggest threat to to Obafemi, to Opus championship has been Wesley, and Sunday was perfect proof of that. Especially someone who's historically one of the greatest North American champions of all time. What actually, let me go ahead and say that. Let me rephrase that. Historically, at this point, Wesley right now is still the greatest NXT North American champion of all time. And so as far as that, hold on. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, so far, statistically, I would say that Wesley is still, at least until we see the rest of what Obafemi's reign looks like. Right now, Wesley is still the greatest NXT North American champion of all time. So because of his experience, I can definitely see why he gave someone like Oba a run for his money. But of course, this is Obafemi's time. This is his era as the North American champion, and so because of that, he came out as the winner. And so I can see this being NXT's way of propelling Wesley into the main event scene for the NXT Championship. So I think at this point, the window for him in the North American title scene is pretty much closed, and then now it's time for him to make that transition up to the top, just like they did with Carmella. So of course, like I said, the match itself was absolutely awesome. Of course, we could see the desperation on Wesley's face, just how heartbroken he was, how devastated he was. He even refused to interview after losing, just because he was just so, just so hurt by that failure. So as far as that, like I said, Wesley had a lot of heart, but me and Obafemi, is the one that reigns above them all. So anyway, we have the women's North American championship. I like how they had the men's North American title followed by the women's North American title. That was pretty cool. Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka. Your winner by pinfall, and still NXT Women's North American Champion, Kalani Jordan. Of course, this match was phenomenal. It was absolutely brilliant. And of course, I like how Sol Ruka landed a very impressive springboard 360 clothesline on Kalani. And then Kalani went for a 360 splash, but landed on the knees of Sol Ruka. And Ruka went for the soul snatchers. Sol Ruka went for the soul snatcher. Kalani Jordan caught leg and sent him to the mat. But of course, like I said, the winner by way pinfall, and still your women's North American champion, Kalani Jordan. So of course, as Mello doesn't miss, neither does this girl. That's all I gotta say. And we have the NXT Tag Team Championship match: Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Chase U. Winners by pinfall, and still the NXT Tag Team Champions, Frazier and Axiom to defeat Chase U. Then we have the NXT Women's Championship match: Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. Great match, by the way. And of course, winning by pinfall, Roxanne Perez with pop box. And of course, last match, and I like the sequence of the matches. How they have, like how they have the men's and women's North American Championship matches back to back, and how they have the men and women's NXT Championship matches back to back. So I was like, I definitely see Sean's vision, and he's not only cooking, but he's grilling. He's grilling at this point, barbecuing at this point. Very fitting, especially since we just had the 4th of July. How about that? And then of course, last but not least, we have the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams is a champion versus Ethan Page, or Sean Spears versus Devon Evans, and this was a brilliant match, a phenomenal match. And I also like Trick Williams' tribute to Booker T with the with the Harlem Heat tights, like I said, Harlem Heat inspired ring gear, and Booker himself even acknowledged that as Trick came out. And so I was like, okay, cool, especially with Heatwave, Harlem Heat. So like I said, I definitely see what they're doing. I'm definitely picking up what they're putting down. I was like, all right, cool. Like that's very catchy, very strategic. You know what I mean? Long-term booking, if you will. And if you notice, also if you notice, even with Javon Evans, if you look at his color scheme, is looks like something that I've seen the New Day wear. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, cool. And then, of course, we also have all ego Ethan Page, coming out very narcissistic, very arrogant. And we have Sean Spears coming out with that Casey Jones hockey mask from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, looking all goofy as usual. Evil creative wrestler from 2K24, whatever. I don't know what, I don't know what that is supposed to be, whatever. But yeah, but of course, like I said, this match absolutely delivered. And shout out to Javon Evans on the 20 with those high spots. I call him the Black 1-2-3 kid because that's exactly what he is. I mean, he just flying through like a superhero or something like that. I was like, man. So, it's pretty much like Young Flash meets Spider-Man meets Daredevil meets Nightwing, all rolled up in one. With the way he was going up left and right, back and forth, I was like, dang. The hang time that this dude has is crazy. If he was a basketball player, he's got to have a 50-inch vertical. I mean, he's jumping out the gym pretty much. And so of course, Ethan Page was in the right place at the wrong side of the same battle. And of course, like, so, and the thing about it was that with the sequence of this match, especially with the way that ended, Trick Williams blasted, Trick Williams blasted Jerome with a trick shot. Sean Spears caught him up. Actually, what happened was Trick Williams blasted Ethan Page with a trick shot as he landed on Javon Evans. But Sean Spears grabbed Trick's foot and Sean Spears grabbed Trick's foot and pulled him out the ring. So Trick couldn't break the pin. And so if anything, it's like Trick's momentum was used against him. So he inadvertently helped Ethan Page become the new NXT champion. It was a shocking ending. Like I said, trick shot where Ethan lands on Javon, and so it's like Trick couldn't even break up the pin because Sean Spears stopped him from doing so. And shout out to Kaz, who brought this up as a reference of the, of course, as he mentioned, as he brought up on Twitter, as far as like the fatal four-way match from Backlash 2007, involving John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, and Edge. As we all know, Shawn Michaels, was co-running NXT with April Rain. Shawn himself, obviously, as aforementioned, was involved in a fatal four-way. So this was, like I said, Shawn definitely ripped another page out of his own book and applied it to NXT, right? So this is another book, once again, Shawn Michaels career mode, because this is very reminiscent of the way that the Backlash match ended, because Shawn gave Cena Sweet Chin Music, and Cena landed in either Edge or Orton for the pin to retain the championship. And so he made sure the history repeated itself. The same way that he knocked out Cena with Sweet Chin Music, Trick knocked out Ethan with a trick shot, only for Ethan to fall on Javon Evans to become the champion. And of course, in Cena's case, he landed up in Orton. I got to go back and see to retain the WWE Championship, right? And so I was like, yeah. And plus, and the thing is, this match, and I think just the card itself as a collective, by far outshined Money in the Bank, And as far as the belt grade, I gotta give it 4.5 out of 5. I want to say Carmelo Hayes NXT Championship belts. If that 4.5 out of 5, Shawn Michaels Intercontinental Championship belts, the white strap. I mean, like I said, they just went above and beyond when it comes to, when it came to the performance, when it came to the presentation, and just NXT. When it comes to wrestling, it's just the place to be right now. It sounds cliche, but it really is. And they never, like I said, they never disappoint. And so now it is time to go into Monday Night Raw. The aftermath of, of course, the aftermath of Money in the Bank. And when I say that this Monday Night Raw was no joke at all whatsoever, so of course, there was a lot, to go on this episode of Raw. And of course, CM Punk opened up the show ready to cut a promo on Drew McIntyre, which he did briefly before Rollins interrupted and came to the ring. And shout out to Seth Rollins and his Rick James inspired outfit, pretty much, especially the silver platinum heels. And man, of course, at the same time, Rollins, even though his outfits are outlandish, when he gets serious, he gets serious. So of course, Rollins actually interrupted CM Punk as he came to the ring. He blamed Punk's interference and Money in the Bank, taking McIntyre out for while Rollins and winning the World Championship. Vowed to re-injure Punk as soon as he's cleared, before Punk can even worry about his issues with Drew. So of course, later in the show, Adam Pearce told Punk to not show up next week so he could see if we could have a conversation with McIntyre. And I think the funniest line that Rollins delivered, he said, the funniest line I want to say is when he said to Punk, he was like, at this point, I'm way above you, and not just with the heels. I was like, okay, excuse me then. All right, then that's spicy stuff. I thought that was great. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was brilliant. But yeah, it's just like, CM Punk has created so many enemies, as I said before. And Rollins called not only that, called him selfish, called him pretty much narcissistic, someone who burns bridges and all kinds of stuff like that. And he pretty much read Punk for filth. There's no way that you can deny that whatsoever. So then, then we have Jey Uso versus Chad Gable. The winner of that match, Jey Uso, and Bronson Reed beat Dunn. And of course, we have Braun Breaker attacking Sami Zayn. And he just bulldozed and just straight up demolished him. Then, of course, we have Finn Balor, JD McBobble, and Carlito defeating R-Truth, Miz, and Braun Strowman. And of course, that was capped off with Finn Balor, the Good Rock, R-Truth. And we have Ilya Dragunov defeat Braun Breaker by disqualification, of course, after Braun threw a chair in Dragunov's face. And of course, earlier in the night, Dragunov had demanded the match against Breaker, against Braun after he attacked Sami Zayn. And of course, after the match, Braun Breaker continued his attack. So Sami Zayn ran in. Of course, once again, he disposed of both of them. And of course, in that match, stands all above everybody else. Then Damage Control defeated Kate Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria via pinfall. Io Sky hit Kate Carter with a moonsault. Then afterwards, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark, and someone in the Facebook group called the Stub Patrol, if you will, hit the ring and beat down Damage Control. So the Stub Patrol beat down Damage Control. So how about that? That's definitely a great way to bond. And of course, the biggest headline for Monday Night Raw, well, the main event was Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan versus Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Of course, Dom and Liv defeated Rey and Zelina. And after that was it, just when he thought things were cool, just when he thought, that they were, that they were safe. Um, Rhea Ripley's music hits. Rhea comes back, and Liv Morgan has his face like, oh, up, and of course he's, and like I said, if anything, this, just like, I mean, like, man, this is like soap opera, kind of like As the World Turns type of thing, and I like to call it As the Judgment Day Turns, because when Rhea came out, Liv just had this look on her face like, up, and she ran far, far away before Rhea could even get close to the ring. So Liv ran all the way into the audience, and then she steps up to Dominic. Said, I don't know what she said to him, but all I know is that as as the show was ending, she just pushed Dominic to the side before, I said, before production just ended the show. So the memes are hilarious. Shot of Stephanie Hypes, with the meme idea of cheaters. Shot of Stephanie Hypes for preparing this saga, the storyline, the cheaters. And I was like, okay, and especially with the memes that came out. I mean, the internet did not play games at all with this. I mean, they are hilarious. They compared it to the Ozzy Brothers video "Contagious," where Mr. Biggs catches R. Kelly and he's ready to kill him. There's also comparisons to Mary J. Blige's "Not Gonna Cry" and "Waiting to Exhale." I was like, yeah. I mean, this is definitely what it is. This is as Judgment Day turns, like as the world turns, and so heads are definitely going to roll. They're definitely going to feel Rhea's wrath, and that group is about to implode. All in the name of Liv's revenge tour. So now it's time to go into NXT. So now here we go with this. And of course, there's the new NXT champion. All entitlement, all ego, Ethan Page faces first potential challengers. Of course, he declared at the beginning of the era of ego, Trick Williams interrupted and won his rematch that night. Sean Spears arrived to take credit for his win to chance of you screw Trick, which he did. Of course, Ron Evans remind everybody that he almost beat them up on Sunday, and a brawl broke out between all four. Of course, it was a pretty solid opener. Pretty much carried dominated by the NXT champion. And so of course, it just showed, Ethan's narcissistic, arrogant, side even more. Just came to shine even brighter than ever. And of course, the opening match is Ariana Grace versus Carmen Petrovic. As I like to call it, the Kill Bill girl, because she's always using swords. Of course, was winner by pinfall, Carmen Petrovic. It's just a match was. Then we have the Heritage Cup match with Tony D'Angelo versus Lexis King, and the winner of this match, 2-1, is Tony D'Angelo. And Lexis King looks like Joe Desire from Tiger King. Just like this really weird looking bad beard, or this super bleached blonde hair, whatever. Like, it's just of course, neither one of them got a full interest anyway. And obviously, like NXT must have been borrowed time because they're just rushing everything at that point. And Booker T said that Lexis King didn't have a point, man. And Joseph says because he had no friends. Yeah, pretty much. Of course, at the end of the day, Tony D'Angelo is still the Heritage Cup champion. And we have a Mark Coffey and Wolfgang versus Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Heatwave. And the winners of this match are of course, Gallus, as they're called. Gallus wins by pinfall. Of course, the Rascals reunite on NXT. Just as Wesley is discouraged and downtrodden and just feels defeated. In comes the Rascals, formerly known, also known as MSK. So it's great to see that. Great to see that reunion, and social media just, like they just loved it. I mean, it was a great surprise. And it's one of the highlights of NXT on Tuesday. Thea Hale versus Izzy Dane, the winner of this match by submission, Thea Hale, aka Scream Queen herself. Then we have the OC versus OTM. Of course, the winners, the winners of this match are OTM. And of course, we have Soul Ruka versus Fallon Henley, and the winner of that match by DQ, Soul Ruka. And we see Fallon Henley go full-blooded heel. As far as that, and then the main event, we have Trick Williams with the mystery partner versus Ethan Page and Shawn Spears. And that mystery partner turns out to be one Joe Hendry, someone that everybody believes in. This Simon Dean, Dallas type of character, whatever the case is, and it's just like one walking troll job, or whatever. And Booker T, was looking at like, he was like, what's everybody's problem? What's the deal with this guy? Why is everybody acting like this? But at the same time, like I said, Joe Hendry, was pretty impressive as Trick's surprise tag partner. And of course, the winners of this match, Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. So as far as that, I will say this: because NXT raised the bar so high with Heatwave, it's just like they kind of, I don't want to say completely fizzled, but the landing wasn't as great as as it could be. I think the biggest highlights were the main event, Trick and Hendry, beating Shawn Spears and Page, as well as the Rascals reunion. So I think that those are the biggest highlights Tuesday nights NXT. So like I said, it's just I mean, pretty much that's what it was. And also, I have to say, Shawn Michaels confirmed even today, earlier today, that Stephanie Valkyrie, what's their name is officially signed to WWE. So, like I said, this whole forbidden door thing and whatnot continues to be open. So, Shawn Michaels himself personally welcomed her to NXT, to WWE. And so I know that she's definitely had a great time, plenty of opportunities, and just sky's the limit and beyond. Like I said, welcome Stephanie Valkyrie. I'm saying her name right. But last but not least, like I said, John Cena. If anything, this is centered toward John Cena appreciation night. Cena has been a cornerstone of the modern era of WWE. When you think about faces of WWE, you think about the likes of Bruno Sammartino. As controversial as this guy is, as toxic as he is right now, Hogan. You have Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rock being one deep. And you have John Cena. John Cena, the way that he's moved the needle in the aftermath of that wrestling boom was the Attitude Era. The way that he moved the needle is noteworthy. He's a perennial star at WrestleMania, perennial headliner, perennial, main eventer. Carried the torch as far as he could take. And funny thing is, wrestling has been going to another boom period in the era of Roman, or what you want to call this right now. And with the rise it's making, Cena decides to call it a career right at this point. And I guess he feels as though he's gotten everything that he could get, out of himself, out of other talent that he's faced. Like the fact that he's even put over the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. Effectively passing the torch to him. And so I know that there have been conversations, even with in our podcast with Cass Shoemaker, Mass Man shows about Cena's place in history. So I would say that like I said, I would certainly agree that Cena is at Mount Rushmore status, especially when it comes to WWE. I can see it being Austin, Rock, Taker, and if you want to have a fourth head, it would be John Cena. And so, so main thing, like I said, like I said, in conclusion, like I said, I could certainly see John Cena making a case, for being on Mount Rushmore of WWE in terms of just importance and just in terms of impact when it comes to, like I said, what type of draw he's been. And so I look forward to this last time is now tour of 2025, and I can't wait because we're witnessing history. Because John Cena is once in a lifetime. He's transcendent. He's an icon, and he is, like I said, once in a generation. And like I said, the thing is, when he's gone, we will appreciate him even more. And just what he's done with his aggression era, actually with his different dance partners when it comes to Randy Orton, Edge, CM Punk, Batista, Brock Lesnar, the PG era, whoever it is, you name it. Like I said, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I mean, he's had the best dance partners that anybody could ever ask for. And I mean, his catalog speaks volumes. You know what I mean? And I mean, like I said, his catalog. Like I said, speaks volumes. It speaks for itself. If WWE had a ballot for Hall of Fame, like first ballot, second ballot, and stuff, John Cena is without a doubt first ballot Hall of Famer, a headliner at that as well. And so if anything, like I said, I'm giving John Cena his flowers and his roses. You know what I mean? And what I mean. So it's just like he's once in a lifetime. Like I said, like he's created his own mold, and there'll never be another. So salute to John Cena. Can't see him anymore, I guess. Nobody can ever see Cena. You know what I mean? As far as that, and just hats off to a fantastic career. Nothing but the best. So, of course, that concludes this episode of Victorious Ones podcast. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, like live or even listen on replay on iTunes or however else that you catch this podcast. Thank you very much. And also, last but not least, once again, as a reminder, this Saturday I will be on Dr. D's panel at BlurCon. So just as a reminder, Saturday, July 13th, I will be on Dr. D's panel along with Fan from Black Wrestling, along with many others. So like I said, it's a privilege to be on this opportunity, to have this opportunity. So thank you very much for watching and listening, and have a great, great, great night.